We are the restaurant brokers, and we sell restaurants.
We started the nation's largest restaurant brokerage firm over a decade ago.
Atlanta, Georgia was our starting point, but our brand is spreading nationwide. We define restaurant brokerage and help buyers just like these.
Our dream, our goal, open up a restaurant, loving life, serving people breakfast and lunch, and then enjoying the rest of the day with them and ourselves.
Buying an existing restaurant, leasing a closed restaurant space, or purchasing a restaurant franchise. We help buyers satisfy their appetite for acquisition.
I'm part of a husband and wife team with this fella.
Working with my wife has been a lot of fun. The ultimate goal for everybody here is to make this work. And because we have different strengths, we bring different angles to the deal.
The process begins with our powerhouse website, WeSellRestaurants.com, where buyers sign online confidentiality agreements and browse restaurants for sale.
Then we send buyers undercover to check out a restaurant and decide if it's the right one for them.
Buyers get our proprietary business analysis tool with all the financial details on the business for sale.
After studying the restaurant inside and out, it's back to our office.
We're deal makers. We write contracts and negotiate terms for buyers and sellers. That's why we sell more restaurants than any other firm in the nation. We are the restaurant brokers. Our name says it all. You're back on the air with the Restaurant Brokers, and today we are talking about one of America's favorite subjects. Yes, that's right, bacon, bacon, bacon. The world is hog wild for pork, and we have some great experts on the line. We want to talk to our special guest, who is Erik Duffy of Tender Belly. Erik, let me ask you a quick question. I want to know, and our listeners want to know, what are some of the craziest food items made from pork?
Oh, wow. Where can we even start? You see a lot of more offal dishes and head cheeses, stuff like that are being more popular with the increase in pork prices. You see chefs being a lot more creative than possibly they were in the past.
So I see a lot of salt and, bacon salty, and people love that salty, sugary thing. So, you see things at these world fairs and state fairs where they've got, honey, caramelized, fried bacon, and different things like that. Do you see a lot of combos with salty and sweet coming together?
Oh, for sure. You see, and anytime you're at any of the state fairs, you're going to see your bacon dipped in chocolate stuff. But you also see at more of the restaurants, you see guys combining and gals combining more sweet, salty. Because all those flavors go great with the earthiness of the pork. So, yeah, I think you really are seeing a lot more creativity with kind of just the plays off the stuff that you might see at the state fair.
Now, do you see us heading also towards very different things? Like I know you see Kona coffee encrusted, steaks before. Are you going to see some kind of things like that to go to that kind of route? Maybe the better sourness, the more strong taste with the pork, since it's kind of a mild meat as well. Do you see some experimentation? Have you tried that or something like that?
For sure. I actually, there's a coffee rub that I use of my pork at home, and you just go to any of the grocery stores or online. You see a lot of these guys that are doing all sorts of different flavors, especially with the bacons. Now you see, I saw someplace just the other day they had a orange blossom cream type bacon. I didn't try it, but it seemed interesting. So I think you're always going to have your classic styles of bacon, your maples, your smokies, hickory, stuff like that, and your peppers. But there's just a lot more variety and choices out there now.
So tell us a little bit about Tender Belly. You're headquartered in Denver. What does your company do? How long have you been in business?
We're going on 5 years, but what we do is we took kind of a slow down approach to the pork business. So we work with small family farms pretty much all around the country, mostly in the Midwest, that are willing to raise heritage breed pigs for us and take care of them to our specifications, which are non-confinement, no antibiotics, no growth hormones, vegetarian fed, and room for the pigs to actually be pigs and kind of get back to the way it used to be done.
So it's more of selective distribution and more farm to table, trying to get closer to that level, and more I guess more of that pureness of the meat versus some of these larger production companies.
Yeah, yes. It's kind of kind of, talking like a heirloom tomato, for example. Certain times of the year, these tomatoes just taste awesome, and the rest of the year they don't because they're your old school style tomato. So what we try to do is find these heritage breed pigs and just raise them slower, pay the farmer better so he can, be happy with what he's doing. In the end, it just passes on a better product to the end consumer, and it's just a more sustainable way of doing it, especially as the public gets smarter and they want better raised animals that are taken care of better, etc.
So I think that pork kind of gets a bad rap, as people think about healthy. Are you seeing that image is changing when you go out with this heritage bred pig sort of messaging front and center? Do people understand then that what they're getting is a healthy component of their diet packed with protein and relatively lean, aside from the bacon, of course?
Yeah, no, I would say so. I mean, as the public is more aware of what's out there, what's good for you, what's not. And pork has had a bad rap for years until, just this year is, I think, the first year since sometime in the 50s that pork may surpass beef for consumption here in the United States. So, and with these better pigs that are raised better, people are finding out that fat is not as bad as everyone thought it was. You see people cook with real lard instead of, these homogenized oils. So, and they say pork fat is the easiest fat for the human body to digest. So I think it's just going to get bigger and bigger and better.
Okay, I'm tweeting that. Pork fat is the easiest fat for the human body to digest. And we'll just see what happens on Twitter when we talk about that. Oh, yeah. Let's see if we get an argument going.
Some people won't agree with me, but some people will, and that's just how that goes, so that's fine.
Okay.
Do you see, it was kind of a perfect storm, of course, beef prices have gone so high, pork become a better protein from a price perspective. Bacon is everywhere now in dessert and cooking and everything. You think finally the perfect storms in the last few years have been brought this resurgence of pork because it never went away. It was never out. It was just always kind of to the side there, and now it's a biggest competitor to the beef business. And from a price perspective, as a restaurateur, do you see that as a very people should even increase their pork presence in their menu?
I think I've definitely seen an increase on pork centric menus, and the beef is crazy expensive, and there's only so much top cuts on a steer. But with a hog, you see the chefs getting just more creative and be able to use more offcuts to create really cool dishes but at a lower price point, lower food cost, and still put out a really good product. So that's what I think is you kind of giving people, the chefs, to kind of think outside of the box and just get more creative and utilizing the whole animal now.
So Tender Belly is a supplier. Did you and your brother, were you both chefs before you started the business?
No, I did culinary school about 15 years ago, worked in the industry for quite a while, and I grew up in Iowa. My grandpa was a hog farmer, raised really good pigs. He didn't know any better, so he just took them to the market, the commodity market, and just got paid whatever everyone else was getting. And then when I went to culinary school, then I got my job at a couple nice restaurants and eating pork down there, and I was always really disappointed. They're like, boy, this is not very good pork. And the chefs are kind of like, well, this is what's out there.
Okay, we're going to have to leave it there because that's great information, though, because I know our listeners are just all hog wild for pork, and you have really given us some great information. You are listening to We Sell Restaurants, the industry leader in restaurants for sale, franchise restaurant resales, and site location for the food service industry. We Sell Restaurants is franchising nationwide. For more information, contact us online at WeSellRestaurants.com.